Have you ever drank purple tea? As a matter of fact, have you ever heard of purple tea? Well, I'm here to tell you about it all today. Hello and welcome. My name is Marian Gashohe, and this is Gatura Greens farm in Murang'a County, which is in central Kenya. Today, we'll take you through the process and you'll understand the journey of how tea is processed traditionally and also how it's made for export. But first, we need to start right here in the fields. Purple tea is actually one of the most unique teas in the world. As you can see behind me, you can see some purple tea bushes, and as you can see, it's quite distinct, not the same as the green tea bushes that is common in Kenya. And we're going to learn all about this. But first, Gatura Green usually offers tours for visitors. So to understand better about this, we need to speak to someone who is well versed with this. They're called the host, some call them tour guides, and you're going to understand how this entire thing works. So thank you so much for joining us.
Hello. Hi, my name is Paula. I am the host here at Gatura Greens, and I will be taking you through the purple tea farm, which will involve how you plant tea, how you maintain tea, how you pick tea, and why you pick tea as you pick it.
Thank you, Paula, for joining us. Can you tell us what makes purple tea unique?
Purple tea has a component known as anthocyanins, which gives it the purple color that exists in it, and that is why it's called purple tea.
When you bring visitors here for a tour, what do they experience? What's their day like since they come here till the time they leave?
So it starts at our farmhouse where they will take some tea and some scones, and the tea includes some purple tea and some hibiscus tea. After that, we take them through an introduction which involves where tea was discovered, the tea history in Kenya, and so much about tea. And then after that, we visit our purple tea farm, which is where we are at right now. And at the purple tea farm, we teach them more about tea planting, tea maintenance, and how to pick tea. After that, we go back to the farmhouse and we get to process the same purple tea that they pick, and we process whole leaf tea, also known as orthodox tea. And then after that, we do a tea tasting session where they get to interact with 10 different types of teas. And then after that, we take a nature walk to the waterfall. And after that, we go back to the farmhouse where they enjoy a 3-course meal lunch prepared by our chef. And that is usually the end of the day's activities.
Yeah. What would you say surprises people the most when they come for this farm tour?
I'd say what surprises them most is how beautiful Gatura generally is, and purple tea is not known to many people, so knowing more about purple tea and how special purple tea is usually very fascinating for them.
What are some of the interesting questions some visitors have ever asked when they come here? Because many people do not know about purple tea, especially in Kenya. People are used to the green tea that makes black tea. What is some of the interesting questions that have stood out for you?
The most interesting question is usually people wanting to know or understand how from one leaf you could process different types of teas. Like from the green leaf, we process 7 different types of teas, and from the purple tea, we process 2 different types of teas. And it's usually very surprising for them that from just one leaf, you can process so many types of teas.
But then again, people may ask, why purple tea? I'm used to the green tea. Why should I shift, or why should I take this purple tea? What is it about it?
Purple tea is a very special type of tea, in that out of the anthocyanins that exist in those leaves, then purple tea will have 10 times more antioxidants compared to the green bush. As we all know, apart from caffeine, we drink tea because it has antioxidants. So purple tea has 10 times antioxidants compared to the green bush, and also it has 10 times less caffeine forming enzymes. So it's a tea you could enjoy even in the evening because it has very minimum caffeine in it. Yeah.
And Paula, you seem very well versed about this. You've been doing this for how long?
This is my second year working in Gatura Greens, and tea is an interesting world, so yeah.
And what kind of visitors do you mostly get to take around this farm?
I'd say generally people, Kenyans, people from all over the world, I have actually met people from almost every part of the world, and it kind of makes me feel like I am traveling without traveling. Yeah.
And if someone is watching this and thinking, maybe I may do this someday, maybe, what would you tell them?
I tell them that they are most welcome to Gatura Greens, and tea is not just black tea with milk as most of the Kenyans are used to, and it's very interesting to know more about tea, so they should feel very welcome. They should come and enjoy the fresh air in Gatura Greens, and generally in this area, and the sceneries are beautiful from the tea bushes, and experience everything that Gatura Greens offers.
Thank you so much, Paula, for taking your time to speak with us today. That was Paula, who is a host right here in Gatura Green. Her work involves taking visitors for a farm tour to see the purple tea, to drink it, to make it traditionally, which you're going to see in the course of this video. And of course, all this starts with the ones who pick the tea. So it is very important to speak to a farm worker who's going to show us how they pick the tea and why they pick it the way they do. So, join me in a few. Well, I'm not joined with one of the farm workers here in Gatura Green Purple Tea Farm, who is going to explain to us how they do the picking, because it all starts here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Kwa majina ni Jeremiah Omingo. Mimi ndio huwa nafanya kazi ya kuchuna majani. Yes.
And Omingo, umefanya hii kazi kwa muda mgani? Na tuseme kwa mfano kwa siku unaweza kuchuna majani kiwango gani hivi?
Okay, mimi nimefanya hii kazi ya kuchuna majani ya purple tea, nimeifanya kwa miaka 6 sasa. Na ninaweza chuna kwa siku 80 kg. Hiyo.
Kama unachuna 80 kg, kama unachuna 80 kilo kwa siku, kwa tuseme 1 hour unaweza chuna, ama kwa mfano hiyo kikapu umebeba hapo nyuma, unaweza ijaza katika muda mgani?
Okay, sasa nikichuna 80 kg per day, tuseme hiki kikapu nimepepa, huwa inabebanga 20 kg na huwa inaijaza kwa 1 hour.
Yes. Kwa muda wa 1 hour?
Ndio. Na
ulianza kujaza kwa hiyo kikapu katika muda mgani? Tuseme kama kwa 1 hour unajaza hiyo kikapu ya 20 kg. 6 years ago, ambapo ulianza, ulikuwa unajaza kwa muda mgani hivi? Ama ulikuwa unachuna kg ngapi kwa siku hivi, ama kwa 1 hour?
Okay, na hii kazi si rahisi vile, ni kujitolea. Sasa nilipoanzia kazi, nilikuwa naanza nikiwa na kilo ya chini sana, kwa sababu mwenye atajua hii kazi huwa anaanzanga na kilo ya chini. Like mimi nilianza na 2 kg per day, kwa sababu sikuwa naelewa, nilikuwa nachukua moja moja. Nayo nikaenda, baada ya wiki nikaendelea kugrow pole pole, ndio nikaanza kuchukua kama 10 kg per day. Nikaendelea hivyo, baada ya mwaka moja nikawa sasa nimekuwa at least niko na hiyo experience.
Na kwa hii kuchuna majani chai, naona majani mengi sana hapa. Unaweza kutuonyesha vile ambavyo mnachuna hii chai?
Okay, naweza onyesha. Tuseme huwa tunachunanga kama hii. Sasa hii ndio inakuanga matawi 2 na shindano, na ndio inahitajika. So huwa tunachukuanga ikiwa hii peke yake. Na saa kuna ingine kama hii sasa haifai, lakini wakati unachuna hii unafaa kuitoa, unaiweka chini, kwa sababu hii haina faida kwa majani, kwa shamba. Sasa hii inaitwa tasa, kwa sababu huku haina kale kashindano na imemaliza kuzaa. Sasa huwa inatolewa ndio at least inashoot hiyo ingine. So hii ndio inahitajika, ndio majani ile inahitajika sana sana, na ndio tunachukuanga tunaweka kwa kikapu. Hii tunaiweka chini, ndio at least wakati mwingine tukikuja tupate kama kuko na majani mingi. Yes.
Na umesema unachuna majani kilo 80 per day. Unalipwa pesa ngapi katika kila kilo?
Okay, sasa hivi tunalipwa kulingana per kilo, tunalipwa 18 shillings per kilo. Ndio.
Na hii kazi imekusaidia aje wewe kama mchunaji wa hii chai ya zambarau?
Okay, so mimi naweza sema imenisaidia mambo mengi. Ashua tuseme wakati nilikuja hapa mimi nilikuwa chini sana, na sasa sikuwa nimefanya ile tuseme nimejitafutia kazi. kwa sababu nikikuja huku ndio wakati huo nilikuwa nimetoka mambo ya shule. Sasa nikikuja huku kujitafutia, hii imenisaidia nikaweza kujenga kwangu. Sasa hivi niko na nyumba naweza sema nimejenga kupitia majani. Na pia kuna ndugu yangu ambaye ananifuata kwa nyuma, bado anaendelea shule, mimi ndio nagharamika kuhusu school fees natoanga hapa. So imenisaidia. Yeah.
Swali ya mwisho, kurudi hapo nyuma kidogo, jinsi ambavyo ulianza kuchuna hii majani chai. Tuseme kuna mtu ambaye anataka kufanya kazi kama hii yako. Atapata aje kazi, mnapewa kibarua kila siku ama kunaenda aje? Na unaweza kutueleza jinsi ambavyo ilivyo kutoka asubuhi ambapo unaingia katika shamba kuchuna majani chai mpaka jioni. Mnafanya nini katika kila muda?
Okay. So mimi naweza sema hii kazi saa zingine ni mzuri kwa sababu hii sio ile ya kupimiwa masaa vile. Ni wewe unajituma na kulingana vile na mahitaji yako. Kwa sababu tuseme mwenye anahitaji kukuja kuchuna ama mwenye ana haja ya hii majani, unaweza kuja kwa sababu hii ukilinganisha na kampuni, kuna utofauti. Kampuni mostly tunakuanga na managers, nao wanakufuatilia kulingana na masaa. Na hii sasa ni wewe ujipange na masaa yako kulingana ile masaa utaweza kuingia. Bora tu ujue ile target uko nayo ya nini za kilo ama pesa zile unahitaji. So ndio inaendanga na according na target yako. Lakini kwa mwenye anaweza ipendelea hii kazi, inakuanga ni mzuri kwa sababu haina mambo mengi. Ni kuingia tu kuchuna, uende upime, upate pesa zako. Na pesa huku tunalipwa weekly. So ukichuna kwa baada ya wiki, kila siku unaekanga kilo zako, baada ya wiki unapokea mshahara. Yes.
Okay. Na nataka tu tuelezee, umetoka nyumbani umekuja hapa asubuhi. Mnachuna mfululizo mpaka jioni ama kunaendaje? Kuna wakati mna take break, kuna wakati wa kupima ya majani, kunaendaje kwa hiyo siku?
Okay. So ndio nilikuwa nimesema hii hainanga limit ya mtu kulingana vile umejipanga. Mostly huku tunaamkanga kitu 6, unajipanga, alafu unakuja kwa sababu uko kwa mali tunauzia buying center. Gari huwa mostly saa zingine inakuja mara 2 per day. Kuna ile inakujanga saa 3. So ukifika saa 3 unaweza pata niko at least na kilo kama 30. Naenda ninauza ya saa 3. Then ninarudi kama nika breakfast shamba hivyo. Ndio ninarudi tena kwa shamba. Nao ninachuna. Ikifika saa 7 hivyo natoka naenda nikule lunch. Then nirudi. Kitu saa 10 hivi gari bado itarudi. Ipate kama nimechuna zingine kama 50. Alafu ndio niite siku. Yeah, so ikifika kitu saa 10 hapo mimi nitakuwa nimefunga kazi ama saa 11. Nao nikitaka kurudi bado niko na uwezo wa kurudi. So inategemea na vile nimejipanga. Yes.
Asante sana Omengo kwa kuongea na sisi siku ya leo.
Yeah, karibu sana.
That was Omingo, who is a farm worker right here in Gatura Greens Purple Tea Farm, explaining to us the first process in this tea picking. You know, it starts with the farm worker who actually picks it before it even ends up in the factory. But there's also another person who oversees the whole process in the farm, and that's the farm manager, which is very, very important to speak to this person. Joining me right now is a farm manager right here in this farm, and I'd like for him to explain to us about the purple tea. Thank you for joining us, and kindly tell us your name.
Welcome. My name is Simon Ikau Mohoro. Wananijua hapa kama Joroge. So I'm the farm manager here at Gatura Greens. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. How many people do you manage on a busy day?
On a busy day, I roughly 58 people. Yes.
And in a not so busy day, how many people do you manage?
Say half of that number, like say 32, 30. Yeah.
So what does it take to pick the right kind of tea and process it for export?
According to the standard that's required, it's called the KTDA size. That is 2 leaf and a bud. Yes, and according to the how we pick it, we handle it with the packing bags. Yeah, that the work, as you can see, the workers are carrying the packing bags. That when they pick, they store temporary storage. Yeah, they carry it at the back. Then when it gets full, they take it to a shade where they store it in a cool place so that the tea remain fresh. Yeah.
But what makes purple tea different from the normal green tea or black tea that we're used to in Kenya?
Purple tea is different because the high elevation here and the amount of the rainfall that is here. Now purple tea produces that anthocyanin that gives it that purple color. Yeah. And also it is tolerant to drought, pest. Yeah.
And how many kgs are the people who are working under you expected to deliver, let's say, in a day? How do the orders run around here?
The orders I'm given by the factory, they come as a directive. In the morning, I'm told I'm giving a directive to say, let's say today, I have the order to deliver 400 kgs. So I have to arrange my people so that we ensure that we meet the optimum kgs, the 400 kgs. Like, for example, yesterday, we managed to deliver 600 kgs. That was the order that we were given yesterday by the factory manager. So we have to keep on communicating, and I have to arrange my people accordingly. Yeah.
And what are some of the challenges that perhaps you face while you're picking tea?
Most of the challenges come from the resistance from the tea packers. Yeah, you see, when a person is giving a directive, you have to enforce the people, and people, and they don't want to follow instructions. Yeah, sometimes also climate is a challenge.
Yes, true.
We may be given, let's say, those 400 kg to deliver on that day. Then it comes, then it rains. So that order now remains pending. Yeah.
There's someone who looking at this purple tea bushes and wondering how long does it take for this to grow to at this level, and what happens? Like, I pick today, will I find more teas tomorrow? How does this work?
Okay, transplanting it, the seedling, it matures at 2 years. Then you transplant to the farm. Then you give it another 2 years. Then you start harvesting. Then from there, when it's rainfall season, if the climate is favorable, we pick it at 7 days. When there's drought, we give it 12, 13 days. Then it matures, then we come for the next round. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the vision for you as a farm manager, for your farm workers or the team that you manage? What's the vision that you have for them, like in the next, let's say, 1, 2, 5 years?
My vision is to help them so that they grow themselves too. They have come here so that they can look for something to develop themselves. Yeah, they grow, we grow together. We have even the chamas, so we contribute. If someone is buying a rad or someone is building a house, then we have that like a harabe. We support that person. Yeah, anainuka. Yeah.
Okay. The final question. When you wake up in the morning as the farm manager here, how does your day look like from morning till evening?
It's quite a busy day. Quite a busy day because I have to keep on checking on how many kg are we so far. The weather, how is the weather? Yeah, it's busy day. You have to force the people. Sometimes you have to talk with people nicely, you see, so that they agree. You come into terms with them. Yeah, it's a busy. Then you have to arrange after today. Then what next tomorrow? Yeah, what if apart from purple, you have green tea. You have to keep balancing. Yeah, there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Simon, for speaking with us, for bringing us so much insight about you being a farm manager here in Gatura Greens.
Thank you, and you are all welcome at Gatura Greens.
That was Simon, a manager here in Gatura Greens that manages around 53 people on a good day, and half that number when, not much work is required to do on that day. But now, there is a bigger picture to this. There is the person who began all this. There is a founder who created all this, of course, using the team like Simon and Omingo. So it is very important to speak to the founder to understand the vision that she had while she was coming up with this, and the kind of things they do every single day, and the kind of tour they also have, and the whole process about it. So let's speak to that person right now. To explain that, I'm now joined with Gatura Greens founder, Catherine Karanja. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me, Marian. I'm excited.
Okay, now in this Gatura Greens farm, we do have visitors who come and tour here. So what would you say is the best part or the most outstanding part that visitors tend to say about the tour?
So I think we're actually at the best part. This is the most immersive part of the tour experience because we actually get guests to carry baskets just like these, and then they put it on their heads and they're able to immerse themselves and pick tea just like a tea picker would, right? And so from picking the tea, they learn how we do quality control. They learn how we are discerning about the quality of leaf that we're picking. And that for the kids, for families, for everyone who's never been in a tea farm before and never had the experience of actually knowing the hard work that goes into their cup of tea, it's the best and the most favorite part for sure. Yeah.
And most people, when they're taking a tour, they mostly go like to the beach or to, those kinds of places. Most people don't go to a farm. So why a farm tour?
So I think, well, first, you're right. Most people will go on safaris. You'll go to Masai Mara, you'll go to the beaches in Kenya, but they never really think of exploring farms. And most of it is actually our fault because we hadn't opened our farms to tourism or imagined that people would want to come and experience what we do in our farms as a tourism offering. But once you start learning the impact of tea in Kenyan economics, like this is the biggest foreign exchanger that we have, or foreign exchange earner that we have. And tea is, we export in volumes the most tea in the world. Kenya does, right? And so you're part of history, you're part of legacy. It's such an important aspect of our country that it's important for tourists to be able to experience this. And so it's so nice and so exciting for us to be in this space and to be able to open this up to tourists, to be able to learn and understand the tea that they consume. Because Lipton's is from Kenya, right? Twinings is from Kenya. All these big brands and tea brands that they experience are mostly teas that are from this country and then blended with other teas from around the world. And so it's nice for them to then be able to experience from farm to cup, how that tea ends up. And then they learn to appreciate also the intricate levels of like detail that goes into processing their tea for them to have that perfect cup of tea.
So you do visit visitors here. Would you say they're locals or the tourists, or rather, where do your visitors come from?
So we get visitors from all around the world. When we started initially, because we started during COVID times, it was mostly locals because most of our borders were closed, which was fantastic. But then now when the borders opened and we started getting a lot of buzz in the media and we started doing a lot of digital marketing as well, we're now open to tourists from quite literally all around the world. So most of them come predominantly from Europe and from North America. But we also get a lot of guests from Asia. We get a lot of guests from the rest of Africa and locals as well. So I would say that our guest distribution is probably about 60% international guests and 40% locals, which is also really encouraging, right? Because you'd think most locals have grown up in tea farms or have grown up having access to tea farms. And so this wouldn't be an enticing tour, an enticing tourism part for them. But they love it because you get to pick tea, you get to process tea. There's a waterfall on the farm. You can swim, your kids can swim. There's a delicious 3-course lunch that accompanies the tour as well. And so that in itself still makes it a very attractive offering for both locals and international guests, which is really cool.
Still speaking about purple tea, what would you say is the biggest challenge for purple tea farmers in Kenya?
So I would say probably the biggest challenge for purple tea farmers in Kenya would be that purple tea is a very niche product right now, right? It's not as well known as green tea is or as black tea is or oolong tea. And so because it's a niche product at the moment, it's still at the root levels in terms of marketing or in terms of awareness. And so that usually is the barrier, basically trying to educate people on the benefits of purple tea, especially the health benefits of purple tea, which are incredible, and then trying to basically distinguish and also get them to adapt their taste palettes to what purple tea is. Because purple tea is a bit more floral, a bit more aromatic in a way. So it's quite different from your usual black tea. And that is an acquired taste in itself. So hopefully, with all the work we're doing in terms of expanding our farms to purple tea, you get a better offering in terms of price, also with the factories, the purple tea. So you make a lot of money growing purple tea as opposed to green tea. Hopefully all that will now make it more mainstream, and then we'll get more people who are drinking healthy purple tea.
And sticking to purple tea, where do you see purple tea farming in Kenya in, say, the next 5 to 10 years?
So I think similar sentiments to my previous one, where it's still a niche product right now. the good thing is it started in Kenya, and Kenyans are the ones, we're the first ones to grow it here essentially, right? And so hopefully this will now spread out into the world the same way China did a fantastic job making green tea mainstream. And now we have purple, which is 15 times healthier than green tea. So all the offerings that you get from green tea in terms of improving your metabolism, heart, improving your cardiovascular, performance, all that is enhanced with purple tea. And so it would be incredible that in the next 10 to 15 years, it stops becoming a niche product and becomes more of a mass product or a mass market product. And that would really, really improve, our offerings as well.
Any advice would you give for young Africans who want to venture into this niche of purple tea farming?
So purple tea farming, first of all, is incredible. You will make more money farming purple tea as opposed to farming green tea. But even as I talk about maybe young people who want to venture into agribusiness, agritourism, I think, is something that is understated. Most of us have shags and we grow incredible things in the shags, right? So not just tea. People have cows, people have goats, people have chicken. You realize that there's so many people in this world who appreciate going back to that grassroots level of experiencing farm life and experiencing and appreciating where their food comes from, the same way they appreciate where their beverage comes from, which is tea. And it's not a difficult thing to set up. You can basically set up with everything that is already around you. It makes it more authentic, and it also makes tourists feel like they're not coming to a very heavily curated experience, but it's more of an authentic experience where they get a rural immersion. They get to appreciate firsthand how rural Kenya looks like. They get to interact with the community, and then they also get to interact with the beautiful products that we grow that is usually exported to them in a very finished product or in a very refined, processed product, but they get to experience how it actually ends up from farm to their cups or to their plates. So that's what I'd advise young people, like just don't shy away from agribusiness. I know it was something that our parents would do, and going back to shags or going back to your rural area sometimes feels like you're going backwards, but you can actually go back and do a lot of value addition in terms of either the farming aspect or the tourism aspect, which really expands now your income streams as well. And then you basically keep creating value in your farms and you keep growing your farms, which is fantastic.
Okay. To Catherine, how do you like your purple tea? Do you like it iced, hot, straight? How do you like it?
So I like my purple tea plain. So just purple tea pure with hot water. That's how typically I'll enjoy my cup of purple tea. But I also really like iced tea. So at the farm, we usually make this incredible iced tea where we mix hibiscus tea, purple tea with a bit of sugar syrup and a bit of spices. And it just makes it like beautiful and cinnamony and spicy and very refreshing. So that's how I usually like to consume it when it's cold. And then when it's hot, I just like it in its pure form. Maybe I'll squeeze a bit of lemon to give it like a bit of a tang. And it also really enhances the color purple. And some people really like that. But yeah, that's basically how I like to consume it hot and cold.
As you said, most people may not want to go to their rural areas. They think that it's going backward. And you've chosen to come back to your roots and actually venture into purple tea, doing value addition. Would you kindly take us through how you ended up in the farm business?
Oh, that's a good question. So I studied economics. I came back and got into the corporate space. But I would say first I ventured out of the corporate space because I just didn't quite like employment. And I really wanted to do something of my own. And that's why I ventured out. Once I ventured out, back here now where we are in our rural space, I'd come here with friends often and we'd have a good time. We'd go to the waterfall, we'd sleep in the country house, we'd have just great weekends here. And a lot of people would keep saying that this is a fantastic offering. It's a fantastic weekend getaway. There's so much you can sort of commercialize in this space. And I studied in South Africa and went to quite a few wine farms and did wine tours, which were incredible and just like a great, little indulgence out of the city. And so combined with that and the fact that my parents had now started processing the purple tea itself and processing their tea line, essentially, I could tell that there was a lot of tourism offerings here that would be able to curate into an experience. And so that's essentially how I got into agribusiness or agritourism and what I'm doing right now. So it was quitting my job, not really knowing what I wanted to do, even though I was very sure that I wanted to do it in the tourism space, and then combining that and my love of nature and wine tours in South Africa, and then sort of we just came up with this concept as a family. So we actually went to possibly all the farm tours that are actually there in Kenya with my family, which was really cool. And then after that, we sat down and figured out, all the best practices that we can collect from everyone that was doing it here, coupled with all our international experiences and what we had experienced and learned and what we'd want to include into this tour to basically craft what we think is an incredible, immersive rural experience that sort of makes you appreciate, whatever we grow here, which is tea. So it makes you appreciate the effort that goes into processing your tea. It makes you appreciate rural natural beauty that is untapped, which is something that most people don't really see. And then it also just makes you appreciate natural things like the waterfall, and then having this beautiful 3-course meal that is infused with all these teas. It just makes it a more wholesome experience.
And final message to the audience. Why would they try at least purple tea, at least even once in their life?
So, try purple tea out of curiosity. If you're a tea drinker and a tea lover, try it out of curiosity, I would say first, right? And see if your palate actually adapts to it. But most importantly, purple tea is actually known for the health benefits. That is actually the single most significant distinguishing factor of purple tea compared to other teas, right? So if you are a person who appreciates having good things in your body that actually benefit your body, purple tea is it. It binds to your free radicals, so that's why they usually say it's anti-cancer. If you're struggling with obesity, it really regulates your sugar. So it's an incredibly healthy tea, and that's why I would definitely push for people to try it. It's also really delicious, and it makes you feel like you're a bit of a tea connoisseur, because all this niche little teas that are grown very small scale in very few parts of the world. So if you're not curious about the taste, try it for the aspirational part of it. It's a fantastic tea product.
Thank you, Catherine, for speaking with us and giving us much insight about the farm that you have here in Gatura Greens.
Thanks, Marion. It was so fun.
That was Catherine Karanja, the founder of Gatura Greens here in Gatanga, Murang'a County in central Kenya. And now we're going to move on to the next part of this tour. Now, going back to Paula, our host, we need to know the kind of tea we're going to pick so that we can go prepare it traditionally, which Paula, of course, is going to show us. So, Paula, what do we have here today with us? What are these two huge baskets?
So these are baskets, and this is what we use for picking tea. As you can see, it's made out of bamboo, and it's very perforated to make sure there's a very good air circulation in between, because our leaves need to be as fresh as possible before as it gets to the factory. Yeah.
So how do I put this on my head, on my
So there are 3 ways to carry it. You can either carry it on your head like that, let it rest on your back, or you can also do it on your shoulders like that, again let it rest on your back, or you can carry it across your chest, let it rest on your back. So however comfortable you feel, that is how you carry it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try carrying this one. I think I can try the
Across the chest. This feels more comfortable for me. But then as the more you pick, as the basket gets heavier, then the chest part gets a little more uncomfortable. That is where you will notice as the pickers are taking the tea to the factory, to the collection center, they will carry it on the head like that because the head can hold more weight. Yeah.
Okay. So let's begin the tea picking.
Yeah. So we pick 2 leaves and a bud right there. So 2 leaves and a bud. And then you have to get rid of that extra stem right there and just drop it, and with time it will dry. And that gives a chance to that part of the bush to shoot 2 or 3 more leaves, increasing the productivity of the bush. Yeah.
So is this it? Did I get it right? Is this 2 leaves and a bud?
Yes. So right below the second leaf to make sure there is less stem. So right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 leaves and a bud. Yeah.
So I get to put this in my basket.
Yes.
Hooray! The first one.
So also for our guests, they don't have to fill the baskets. All we need is a handful from each one of us, enough for us to process. Because remember, we are going to process the same tea with our guests when we get back to the farmhouse. Yeah. Okay. So 2 leaves and a bud.
Second.
And the reason why we pick 2 leaves and a bud is because remember, the antioxidants are concentrated where growth is happening most. In this case, where we have purple tea, so the anthocyanins, and that is why you can notice that the toppings, so the top part, most of the bush has more color because the anthocyanins are more concentrated here. As the leaves get older, you can see the older leaves are looking much green, and that tells you that the anthocyanins have dropped. So that is why the color intensity has also reduced. Yeah, so the antioxidants will always be concentrated where growth is happening most, so the 2 top part most of the bush, so 2 leaves and a bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go on and pick the kind of tea we're going to use today, yeah? Now, this is the tea that I have managed to pick today as a first-time picker. And of course, my basket is not even quarter. It's just at the very bottom. Paula, how much did you... Oh, wow.
That's a good amount. Here it is. And yeah. So this is all we need for our processing today. And so from here we are going to go back to the farmhouse and we are going to process our own handmade tea, so the traditional way, the ancient way. That is how tea used to be processed back then.
Okay, then let's go prepare this traditionally. Now we are at the farmhouse here in Gatura Green, where we're going to roast and crush the tea that we picked at the farm with Paula and other farm workers. And with me, I'm joined here with Paula, our host for today, who is going to explain to us how to do this. Hello, Paula.
Hi.
So,
welcome to our tea processing session. So here is our purple tea. So we are going to be processing the same purple tea that we picked at the farm. So we should start with a quality assessment. So to pick out all the wrong leaves that are in the batch. So, but I have already done that, and you guys did a good job. There isn't much to pick out, so the quality of our tea is perfect. And then from there, we are going to do a roasting. And the roasting is to wither the leaves out and also to kill and denature the caffeine-forming enzymes. So I will explain to you one thing about tea. So while tea bushes are growing, caffeine doesn't naturally exist in them. But locked up inside these leaves are enzymes that makes it possible for these leaves to form caffeine. So immediately you pick your leaf right there, you leave an open wound here, and the enzymes that are right there are currently interacting with oxygen. So at this point, this leaf is only forming caffeine at this point. So as I mentioned earlier, purple tea is processed as a tea with minimum caffeine. So what I'm looking to do is to denature these caffeine-forming enzymes by exposing the leaves to high temperatures, and that is why we have this set up here. So I'd like to start adding the leaves in the pan to get started with the roasting.
okay,
Yeah.
let's do this. So this is just a hot pan,
Yes.
nothing else you add to it.
Nothing else. We do not add anything to it, but if we were to add something, people say you could add tea oil, tea seed oil.
What is tea seed oil made of?
Tea has fruits, and you could cold press it to produce tea oil, which is something that is not very common in Kenya, but somewhere people do it because
It's becoming really hot.
yeah. The bottom of the pan is very hot, but when it gets too hot, then I am going to use the wooden spoon.
How long are you supposed to do this for?
For around 5 minutes. So the goal is to make sure there isn't any fresh leaves left in the pan. So what I need to do is just keep tossing them until they're all withered. If you can see that there's a very slight color change in the leaves. So this is the color I am looking to attain. Also remember, we are processing whole leaf tea. So the goal is to make sure you maintain the integrity of this leaf as whole. So roasting, apart from denaturing the caffeine forming enzymes, also withers the leaves and softens the leaves, so it's easier to work on it without breaking it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep tossing the leaves until they're all withered. Would you like to try?
Hoping I don't. Can I use this?
Yeah, you can use this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try with this. It's like I've never cooked tea leaves before.
You know, you could make a tea salad out of the leaves. Yeah. You can actually wither them out, season it, and have your tea salad.
Coming to you live cooking tea leaves for the first time in my life.
Are you excited?
Yes, this is very interesting.
Because you can see the amount of fresh leaves keep reducing. The amount of fresh leaves keep reducing, so we are almost there. So after all the leaves are withered, then we will move to the next step, which is rolling. Yeah.
Am I doing it right?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are doing a great job.
Thank you.
So also in the tea processing industry, you lose a lot of volume. You can notice now that the leaves have really reduced. Yeah.
And I can, there's a, they call it a smell gear.
What can you smell?
Like leaves burning.
Yeah, like spinach. I think it smells like spinach, like burning spinach. Yeah, yeah.
Is this just specific for purple tea, or this can also be done for like green tea or?
So this process is for every single tea that is processed like a tea with minimum caffeine. So green tea or yellow tea and also purple tea. So remember, this is to specifically denature the caffeine forming enzymes. So every single tea processed like a tea with minimum caffeine has to go through the roasting part. Yeah. To process teas with maximum caffeine like a black tea, you do not wither the leaves by roasting them. Rather, you wither them out in the sun or in greenhouses with controlled temperatures. Yeah. Because you need to keep the enzymes so that the enzymes can keep forming caffeine as you proceed with the processing. And I think we are now done with our roasting. So I will flip the leaves right here in this pan.
Okay. Do you bring the pan here, or do I hold this for you, or
I'll
how
bring
do you?
the pan here. It's easy.
It's hot.
So the handles are not hot.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so with this we spread them out to cool them down, and then after that we are going to do a process known as rolling. So have you heard of a type of tea known as yellow tea?
Yes.
So yellow tea is processed from the green bush, the same exact way you process like a green tea. So the difference would be after roasting the leaves, as hot as these leaves are, in this case we'd need to have the green leaves. You'd cover the leaves with a blanket, store them in a dark place. So high temperatures and darkness would make the chlorophyll lift, and it would absorb, the blanket would absorb the chlorophyll, yellowing the leaves. So yellow tea is literally a green tea without chlorophyll. So the difference between a green tea and a yellow tea is that chlorophyll is extracted from the leaves. Yeah.
Okay.
For these leaves, so after cooling them, the next process we would do a process known as rolling. So if you took a batch of these leaves and added them in water trying to make tea out of them, you'd barely do. Because for you to be able to make tea out of these leaves, whatever tea-making enzymes that are locked up inside these leaves has to interact with water for you to be able to make tea out of them. And remember, we are processing whole leaf tea, so we are not looking to cut or shred this leaf. So the goal is to make cuts or tones or break the cell walls, still maintaining the integrity of the leaf as whole, bringing out of the tea-making enzymes out, and now it would be easier for you to make tea out of these leaves. So how you do that is take a batch, shape it into a ball like that, and then roll it like a ball. So the rough surface here is what helps you in the breaking of the cell walls, bringing out of the tea-making enzymes. As you can, if you look at the tray, you can notice that it's now more moist, so the fluids are getting to the tray. So that is what lets you know that you're progressing. So you roll it like a ball. And so this would be hand rolled tea, but in the factory it will be done using a machine that applies the same basis. So a bottom that is rough and doesn't move, and then a top that rotates in one direction, exerting some pressure. Yeah.
So at what point do you know that this is a good enough ball?
So you can look at the leaves. So this is well done. You can see that it's curled up, very moist and a little mushy. So that is how you know it's done. So this is a done batch. Yeah.
So you just place it over there and that's it?
And then keep going and roll all of them.
Okay.
Would you like to try a batch?
Yeah, sure.
So take a batch, shape it into a ball.
okay.
Yes, pick there. Shape it into a ball, like that. And then you roll it on the tray. And also remember to exert some pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The tray is moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making the tray moist.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's also some moisture on the tray.
Yeah.
That tells you that you're progressing. Yeah.
And before I came here to do this, you mentioned that I should wash my hands without soap. Why is that?
Because tea is sensitive, so if you use soap to use your hands and you're doing a hand processed tea, that means you'd leave the fragrance on the tea, and you do not want to drink a tea that smells or tastes like soap. Yeah.
So tea is very sensitive.
Very sensitive. Also in the factories, you'd notice that most people that work in the tea factory will not put on very strong colognes because that would affect the taste of the tea.
I never knew that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do is my ball okay?
Yeah, that's done.
Good.
Yeah, that's done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, so I place it here.
Yeah.
So now we have to do all this.
The whole batch.
And after it's done, what happens next?
You spread it for drying. Yeah.
And how long does that take?
So in the factory, it takes longer because if you're to dry the leaves out in the sun, then it will definitely take even days. Here, we do not take days. What we will do, we will air dry it for 1 hour and then pop it in the kitchen oven for an hour or so to completely dry it, because this tea is what we give our guests as a souvenir to take back home, a souvenir of their own handmade tea. Yeah. So here it takes shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You are welcome.
So I'm going to take this as a souvenir after I'm done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Paula.
You're welcome.
That was a very insightful thing. We did the roasting right there in the pan. We placed the tea here. We rolled it. We made a ball, and then we rolled it on the pan, and we're going to leave it here to dry for at least 1 hour. While that is happening, we want to go taste the different kinds of tea that Gatura Green produces. And I'm going to go join another host in this farm who's going to show us, explain what this tea is, how it's drank, the benefits of this tea, and why it's important to drink it, because Gatura produces more than just purple tea. So, another host is here. And let's see what they have in store for us. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Kindly tell us your name.
My name is Lucy. I'll be taking you through the tea tasting session.
Lucy. Okay, how do we start?
So we start with how we taste tea. Then we'll go to you tasting the tea and you'll tell me the taste, the aroma, and if you would require to add something to it to make it more palatable. Yes.
Kindly start us off.
Okay, so we have two types of teas here. We have teas that are gotten from the tea bush. Those are called true teas. And all these teas up to the second last one, they're gotten from the tea bush. And then the last one will be representing the herbal teas. These are things that are brewed, marketed, and drunk like tea, but they're not tea necessarily. Yes.
Okay.
So our first up, the first two you see here, they are called caffeinated types. This is because they have caffeine in them. They are allowed to form caffeine intentionally. These three have like 0.7% caffeine, meaning it's only an estimation of how much caffeine it formed from the farm to the factory, because at the factory, the caffeine forming enzymes are denatured immediately or killed immediately. Then we have champagnes of teas. These are the four, now from here to the second last one. These are the bougie teas, something you drink while you're holding your finger like this, so something premium, more beneficial, but you'll tell me how you find it. And then the last one is hibiscus, representing the herbal teas. So how do we taste our tea? Number one, we use our eyes to gauge the level of caffeine. So reddish brownish color in tea indicates presence of caffeine. So between the two, which one would you say is more caffeinated?
Maybe this one.
Yes, this is the most caffeinated one. Then you use your mouth. We have a cup there. So your nose. So immediately I serve you the tea, you'll have to smell it so that you prepare your palates for what is incoming. Then you let the tea stay in your mouth for a little while, not too long, just a little while, so that you let different taste notes in your mouth register different tastes. And we begin with black tea.
Okay.
I believe Paula explained how black tea is processed. So it's taken to a fermentation chamber so that it's allowed to form caffeine, meaning it will form more flavor, more aroma than any other tea that is not caffeinated. But drink it and you tell me how you find it.
Okay.
Yes. Remember to smell it first.
Okay.
Yes. Does the smell remind you of anything? Do you find any smell in it?
Yeah, it reminds me of the strong tea or a black tea that I did take today morning.
What about the tastes? Anything in particular?
It has like some bitter taste at the very end of my mouth.
But at the beginning, do you find any bitterness?
No.
Okay, that's good. Would you require to add anything to it for you to make it more palatable?
For me personally, I would even take it like without sugar.
Nice. So the good thing about the temperatures, brewing with the right temperatures, not boiling water, is that you don't require to add any sugar to tea so that you make it more palatable. And the good thing about a black tea, it helps you retain focus throughout the day and energize your body. Okay, so our next up is oolong. Oolong is a hybrid between a black tea and a green tea. So you'll tell me if you find it similar to a black tea or more similar to a green tea. Have you ever tasted green tea before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, you'll tell me if it's more similar to green or more similar to black, but it's a hybrid of the two.
Okay.
So remember to smell it first. Does it have any aroma?
From a far distance, it wasn't as strong as the black tea.
What about the taste?
I can feel it in my tongue and at the top of my mouth.
So it has like an aftertaste. Yes. So those are tannins in tea. So tea has tannins, it's like wine. So the more not caffeinated it is or non-caffeinated it is, the more tannins it will have. So like a black tea doesn't have the tannins because it was intentionally caffeinated. But the more we go to the non-caffeinated ones, it's the more you'll start feeling your tongue starting to accumulate something to eat. The good thing about a green is an uncaffeinated type of tea. So for a green tea, immediately from the farm, when it reaches the factory, it's roasted so that you kill the enzymes. So a green tea will have a more grassy flavor than all the caffeinated types, but you'll tell me how you find it. So for a green tea, if you like caffeine, you wouldn't necessarily lean to it, but if you don't like caffeine in your tea, the non-caffeinated types usually are the best because they have more benefits. Yeah. Okay, so let's smell it. What about the taste? Something sweet, something bitter.
This is a kind of green tea I've actually tasted before.
So, would you relate the taste to something? Something earthy, something grassy, something floral?
Maybe grassy.
Grassy. Yeah. Because in the process of denaturing the enzymes, you don't allow the tea to form the aroma and the tastes. So it usually tastes like the leaves itself. Yes. So we have another type called yellow tea. Yellow tea is typically a green tea that doesn't have the chlorophyll. So a less bitter version of a green tea, but you'll tell me how you find it. How we remove the chlorophyll is we cover it with a blanket and then take it to a dark room. So tell me how you find it. Would you rather drink a green tea or yellow?
I'd say yellow tea is a bit sweeter than the green tea.
Sweeter,
Yeah.
So in the process of removing the chlorophyll, you remove the grassy or the bitter taste. So you get green tea or the benefits of a green tea in a less bitter version. So the one that is our core business today, purple tea. So let the color not lie to you. So purple tea, why it's called purple tea, it's because of the leaves, not the color of the liquor. So it has 10 times more antioxidants compared to all the teas that are gotten from the green bushes. So, and then 10 times less caffeine forming enzymes. So if you don't like caffeine in your tea and you want the benefits of the antioxidants in your body, kindly lean to the purple tea because skin-wise, anti-cancerous cells, this one will do wonders. But you have to be consistent with it because you can't drink it today just for one day and you expect it to work. It's not magic. So tell me how you find it. Okay. Yes.
It kind of looks like water, but this is not water.
Does it
I
smell
can
like
smell
water?
it. No.
What about the taste?
I actually like it.
It's not like it looks.
Can I have some more, please?
Definitely.
I love you tasting.
Usually has like a kick that you didn't really expect. Okay. So that is purple tea for you. So if you want to glow, if you want to have like a glowy skin that doesn't have any inflammatory properties, you would rather go to the purple tea.
Wait. What are you doing right now?
So we are rinsing the cup because we had just finished the regular types of teas. So now we're about to go to the champagnes. Remember me mentioning about the champagnes? So now because we don't want you to accumulate the taste of the regular types of teas, we have to rinse the cup, rinse the jug that you're serving with, and also rinse your palettes. So I'll be serving warm water so that you can be able to rinse your palettes as well. Okay. Yes. So we want to cleanse our palettes so that we don't bring the tannins into the champagnes of teas. Okay.
What's next?
So white tea. Have you ever heard of white tea before?
I've seen it. I've seen it, but I don't think I've had it before.
Okay. So white tea is not called white tea because it's white in color. This is because of the leaves, and that's why I was saying the color of tea usually tends to lean more to the leaves than the actual liquor taste, liquor color. So white tea is processed from just one leaf and a bud, sun-dried and cured. So a more premium type of tea because the benefits of tea starts at the topmost part. So the lower you're going, the lower quality you're getting. Same basic as the higher you're going, the higher quality you're getting. So tell me how white tea tastes. And by the looks of it, you can tell it has caffeine, but it's not intentionally caffeinated. It just acquires caffeine as it's in the processing. So how would you rank it?
First, when I smelt it, it smells like caramel. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then the taste is strong, but it's not bitter.
True. So the bitterness of tea usually happens because you add so many leaves, and that's why we usually concentrate on 2 leaves and a bud, not 5 leaves or 10 leaves and a bud. So if you get rid of 1 leaf and you just process a leaf and a bud, it will be a more sweeter version of the tea. Yes.
That explains the caramel taste.
Yeah, and the aroma as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have silver tips. Silver tips is a more bougie tea because it's just the bud only.
Oh.
Yeah, would you like to see how it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's show you how it looks like. So that when we say just the bud only, you don't get mixed up with what do we mean by bud only.
Wow.
Yes.
This must take forever to, harvest.
No, we usually harvest 2 leaves and a bud. So at the factory, it's where they will decide what type of tea they want to process. So at the factory, they'll have to hire extra staff who will come and remove the extra 2 leaves, and they're only left with the bud only. Yes. Okay. So the most work happens at the factory of hiring people who will remove the extra 2 leaves and packaging. You can imagine getting a whole gram using just the bud only. So that's why typically tips are usually more expensive than the regular types of teas because of the benefits, number 1, and then number 2, because it requires more work. Yes. So taste the silver tips and you tell me how you find it.
It's really good. It's kind of close to
The white.
yeah, but it's distinct.
Yes, because it's just the bud. Yes. And it's like a premium version of the green because it's the green bushes and then you get the bud only. You sun dry it and you cure it. So if you want the benefits of the green tea or the green bushes in a higher version, you would rather gravitate to silver tips because it has more benefits and it's more sweet compared to the green tea.
Which benefits are this that are better than the green tea?
It increases more metabolism. It helps in cutting weight, and we usually say, as I said, it's not magic. You also have to watch what you're taking on the side because you can't eat like starch in large quantities and then you drink tea and you expect it to work. It will never work. So watch what you're taking on the side. Be consistent with the tea and it will do wonders. Yes.
Yeah. So what's next?
So our next app is Purple Tips. Purple Tips is just the bud only from the purple tea, sun-dried and cured. So remember the benefits I told you about the purple tea? Do you remember?
Yes.
Give me one, just one.
I know it helps cut, for instance. It helps in people who have diabetes.
Yes.
It helps in blood pressure. It helps in the skin and metabolism and even digestion.
Yeah, and the skin is very important for people who like their skin to glow. So this has like more percentage of antioxidants that help with all these properties that you've mentioned. So if you want it in a higher percentage, Purple Tips will be the tea for you. Tell me if taste-wise you would gravitate to it.
Wow. I can taste something different from any other thing I've tasted here. Maybe close to the purple tea, but the tips are different.
More premium?
Yes, more premium.
Something bougie, something. Yeah. So for all these teas up to where we've tasted, would you require to add any sugar to the tea?
I don't like my tea with sugar, so no.
Also, I wouldn't say they are bitter, so that's also a component of bring them with the right temperatures. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, so for caffeinated types, we usually brew with 85 degrees for like 6 minutes. Non-caffeinated, these are teas that have like 0.7% caffeine. Those ones we brew for 74 degrees for like 4 minutes. And it's degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Yes. Okay, so our last of the champagnes is Golden Tips. So for the people who like caffeine in their tea, but they want higher percentage and in a more premium way, Golden Tips will be the tea for you. So it's just the bud only, sun-dried and cured. You'll tell me how you find it. Also remember to smell the tea before you drink it. So Golden Tips for you.
This is from which kind of tea in the farm?
Green bushes. Yes. The green bushes, the bud only, now allowed to form caffeine. Yes. Remember the silver tips did not form caffeine. Yeah.
It's like black tea, but premium.
But premium.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you find like a sort of a bitter taste anywhere? No.
It's a bitter taste.
No. Okay. So for golden tips, it's not a premium of the black. It's as much as it would taste like a premium of the black, it's a premium of an oolong tea.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was only allowed to form caffeine for 30 minutes, so halfway. Yeah, so it's a premium version of the oolong. But if you like your tea caffeinated, you would rather drink golden tips than any other tips here. Yeah, but if you want heart benefits, then I would rather you drink a white tea. Then, sorry for this. So before we enter the herbal teas, because for herbal teas today we have hibiscus, I will have to cleanse our palates so that now we move away from the true teas or the teas that are gotten from the tea bush, and now we go into the teas that are brewed, marketed and drunk like tea, but they're not necessarily tea.
Okay.
Yes. So just small amount of water to cleanse our palates. So far, which tea did you like up to where we've reached?
I think I'm liking everything.
So far?
Yeah, I'm liking everything.
So, do you drink whole leaf tea or powder tea?
Mostly it's powdered tea.
Powdered.
Yeah, but also herbal teas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
like ginger and those kinds of tea, lemon. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So now let's cleanse our palate. Oh, sorry. How would you rank our water?
Fresh water, because
Sorry.
this is it's a highland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the water is fresh, clean water. Yeah.
So our next up representing the herbal teas is red hibiscus. So red hibiscus is gotten from the hibiscus flowers. So it's known for having vitamin C. It helps in increasing metabolism. It helps in lowering blood pressure and also in balancing your blood sugars. So it's a very healthy product to have, and you can use it as a jam. You can use it as raw tea like this, or you can use it as an iced tea, which is like a Christmas drink. So tell me how you find it.
Okay.
Remember to smell it before you drink it.
I'm loving what I'm smelling. Yeah, I love it. I love hibiscus too.
Okay, do you find something citric in it?
Definitely, yes. Definitely, yeah. Why is that so?
Because hibiscus is a Mediterranean plant. So if we plant it here, it won't have those citric notes. And the citric notes are what helps in lowering blood pressure. So if you want it to have the citric notes, it has to be somewhere hot because it's a Mediterranean plant. And that's how it acquires the citric notes. So somewhere like Kisumu, Mombasa, anywhere dry, it would do perfectly. Yeah.
I remember you asking me about the water. If someone made this tea using, let's say, hard water, not fresh water, would it change the kind of taste the tea comes with?
Honestly, I've never tried it, but I believe it would because hard water mostly has like a salty flavor in it. So definitely it will be like a salty flavor plus the tea. So definitely it will change the flavor, but it will not change the benefits of the tea. That's the good thing about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, no, it's done.
Okay.
So we have another product. So this is hibiscus iced tea. So we make using hibiscus, cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So a very wonderful drink to drink as a family outing, a gathering. But you'll tell me how you find it. And it's sweetened.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
What do you use to sweeten it? Do you use like processed sugar, or what do you use?
Just brown sugar. Yeah, brown to be specific, because white usually has some cases of having mercury. So we tend to lean to brown sugar because it's more productive in your body.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's enlightening. I didn't know that.
So tell me how you find it.
I can smell the cinnamon already.
Anything else that you can spot?
Cinnamon, of course, the hibiscus.
Cloves somewhere.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, what is the name? What is the name? Yeah, it has cloves.
Definitely spot the cloves in it.
And it's cold because it's iced tea.
Yes.
And it has sugar. Yeah. I would definitely drink this.
I usually get like a holiday vibe when I'm drinking hibiscus iced tea. So let me rinse it so that we try kombucha.
Okay.
So have you ever tried kombucha before?
Me and the people watching who don't know what kombucha is. Can you explain that to us?
So today you get to try very many things. So kombucha, it's a fermented tea. So the same way we ferment porridge, the same way we ferment milk, so this is fermented tea. So why we ferment the tea is because we want to target the audience that wants to help their guts, because it's very good for your gut health. Anything bloating, anything to do with the stomach, it helps to cure it. Yeah, so how we ferment it, let's cleanse it first. So how we ferment it, for us, you can use either black tea, but for us here, we use black tea, purple tea because we're a purple tea farm, and then the Scooby, which is a tea mushroom that helps to ferment the product. So it feeds on sugar and tea so that it can be able to ferment the product, and then you get kombucha as the final product. Yes. So I'll serve you a bit of it because it has an acquired taste. It's either you like it or you don't.
Okay.
But for me, I usually like it, especially because it's beneficial for my stomach. So you'll tell me how you find it. So first I'll serve a little bit, and if you like it, we can now add.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just for the stomach, not for the gut health?
Gut, stomach, so anything to do with the gut.
Okay.
Yes, the whole gut.
It smells like fermented milk. Fermented porridge.
Fermented porridge?
Yes.
Yes. What about the tastes? Something you didn't expect?
I can feel it burning down my throat.
Would you relate it to something in particular?
Anything burning down my throat.
So most of the people that taste kombucha usually relate it to like traditional drinks, like Moratina or something like Cascasida, but it doesn't have alcohol to it. It's like 0.7%, which it formed because of fermentation, not that alcohol was added to it. But because it's medicine, you can just close your eyes and just finish it up and you hope it helps the guts. So other than tea, we have other products that other people here at the farm usually make. So we have two types of soap. So we have purple tea soap and we have hibiscus soap. Both of these soaps have antioxidants in them. By the looks of it, you can tell. The antioxidants is like the reddish, purplish color that you find in substances. So purple tea, this one neutralized because she added different things to it. But both of them have antioxidants, meaning they'll help with the skin. But I usually say because this one she used coconut oil and this one she didn't use coconut oil, I would advise this one for the skin and hair and this one just for the skin. And it will do wonders to your skin. You'll start glowing because I used to have very bad acne and now it's clearing up. But I usually say also watch what you're taking on the side. That's a very key note. And then we have other products here. So this is a coloring book. It outlines the whole tour. So from the time the guests arrived, when they had their scone and tea, the swing that you saw over there at the garden, a farm plantation. Here you can imagine it's you guys picking tea.
I can literally see myself with that basket.
Yeah. And then this one explains how tea is with that. So basically the whole tour up to the waterfall. So everything that we did today, the guests will get to do, and it's outlined here. So a nice way to gift a niece, a nephew, a child, or even yourself for therapeutic purpose. And it comes bearing crayons. And the last of our products today, I believe you've been bombarded with so many information. So this is an artwork. So this is work that is done by one of our local men who live around here. So it's a young man who does art, but he articulates it in this way. So this one is explaining how we walk to the waterfall. So I believe you saw some bamboos, right?
We're heading there after this.
Yes, but okay, yes, the bamboos. So, and when you're going to the bamboos, you'll see some staircase. So the stairs is what he's trying to articulate here, and then there are some bamboos that are very huge. So this even is not articulating it in the in the best way possible because they are very huge. But if you like art in your house, if you like gifting your friends, you can people just purchase it to go and help out or give someone they love. Yes.
So, if someone wants to purchase such kind of an art, do they have to come here, or can they order online?
Yeah, they can order online, but most of the guests purchase it here. But even if you order online through either our Instagram page, which is Gatura Greens, or our Google page, which is also Gatura Greens, we can do delivery to you. Yeah.
Okay. So this brings us to the end of our tea tasting tour.
Yes, this brings us to the end of our tea tasting. I hope you enjoyed every single tea.
I did enjoy every single tea. Then I reached the kombucha and I was like, oh my gosh. But it's sure it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either you like it or you don't. Yeah. But I'm glad you liked the rest, and I hope you learned different things today.
Yes. Actually, I did learn a lot today, which I hope you all learned so much today. There's so many different kinds of teas that you can actually have, not the same kind of tea that you've been drinking. So this is what we had during this session, drinking all kinds of teas, tea tasting, the smelling, and this all brings about what happens here in Gatura Greens Farm in central Kenya in Murang'a County. But apart from tea, this farm is massive. And apart from that, visitors also get to enjoy the waterfall that they have here in the farm, which you're going to go down there right now.
This is where you see the lake.
Oh, we're still going down. Oh my, ndile pale. Na inatingika. We are now back from the waterfall, of course, coming back to the farmhouse. And this is one of the final parts. Of course, we're having lunch cooked with different kinds of teas, and we need to understand how this actually happens. With me here is a chef that is going to explain this to us. Thank you for joining us. Kindly tell us your name.
Thank you very much. My name is Chef Francis, and I'm delighted that you came to Gatura Greens, and welcome to Gatura Greens lunchtime.
Thank you so much, Francis. Can you tell us how it is that tea can be infused in food like an ingredient?
Basically, you've been taught about the aspects of purple tea and the byproducts you get from purple tea and the green tea. Now, them having the anthocyanin and the antioxidant agents, we need to preserve our history of health. From the medicine part of it, the chemical medicine, now to the healing part of the nature. That's why you're using now tea as part of the ingredients to give you the anthocyanin you need in your body, also maximize the absorption of the major mineral acids you need in your body, because the teas have different properties that aid that. And I'll explain as we go from one dish to the next dish.
So these recipes, did you create them, or there's like a book that guides people?
We created the recipes with my boss. We tried, we researched, we tried them out. And as you've asked a very good question, do we have a recipe book? It's coming up in 1 month's time. So whoever will be delighted to buy our copy will be very much willing to sell it. Yeah.
Okay. Francis, kindly take us through, beginning from here, what we have here and how you've infused tea in this.
From our appetizer, remember, as I earlier on when I was doing the interview, I said that we do not stop on tea being a beverage, but we've taken now a step further to infuse our cooking with tea to give you those aromas and that historic that experience, that historic taste that will leave you wanting more. So our first appetizer, we have black bean falafel infused with black tea. And you have tzatziki sauce that has yellow tea. Internationally, we make falafels with chickpeas. But chickpeas does not combine very well with the teas. And also when I came here, I found a challenge of getting chickpeas. I have to go to Nairobi. Remember, we are so many kilometers away from Nairobi. So I developed my recipe with black tea and the black beans falafel. The black tea gives that tannin, that groundy smokiness in it. It also helps in binding the black beans because you do not use any flour. Because naturally, we want our food to be natural. And we have guests who come and they are gluten-free. So how can I serve black beans with gluten? So that's why you use the black tea in it.
Okay, looks very beautiful. What do we have here?
This is 4-season soup. It composes of aubergine, ginger, carrot, butternut infused with green tea. Green tea has aspects of making your body absorb the B12 and the B6 and the carotene in pumpkin and the carrots. So we need that full absorption in your system so that when you take the soup, at least you get 90%. If you're going to lose, and you should not lose, it's only 10%. Remember, you also have soluble vitamins like vitamin C and oil dissolvable vitamins that we need to bind so that you can have them fully when you are presenting your food, when you are eating it, and when you are taking the food in your body. That's why you use the green tea.
Okay.
Now, the soup is paired up with purple tea, fresh baked garlic bread. So the purple tea combines with the garlic to give you that aromatic taste. As I said, the purple tea has its own aspects. It has own its properties. The anthocyanins a lot. So this bread is very rich in antioxidants and inflammatory aspects. Yes.
So you can say this is even better than the bread most people buy in the shops.
Much better. It's natural. Apart from using the wheat flour and have used the garlic and the purple tea. The purple tea and cinnamon will help breaking down the gluten in the flour. So it becomes really available for digestion in your system. Yes.
Okay. Can move on to the next one.
Our next item is our main course. Our main course comprises of 4 items, as you can see. We have fried rice that pairs up with white tea. Then we have grilled vegetables, which are zero oil aspect and very nutritious. You just grill them in a high flame pan, and you just have that coating. By doing that, you are able now to insulate all the vitamins in the vegetables. If you overcook your vegetables, you lose a lot of vitamin C and the other minerals. That's why we do not boil our vegetables. We grill them in high heat, binding all the amino acids you need, and you have them wholly. We have these are jeera and rosemary potatoes. Then the chicken is a chicken tikka masala infused with golden tips. Golden tips being one of our champagne items. It gives the fullness in the masala. Unlike the hotels where you use wines cooking to enhance the flavor, we use now the champagne tea to add the flavors. So our chicken masala with golden tips is high class.
Okay.
Paired up with our garden salad, we do organic gardening. We do not use pesticides or fertilizers. So our vegetables are very much organic, and we also use D40 vegetable and fruit sanitizer when preparing our vegetables. We soak them and we rinse with clean water, and we also use the food grade gloves when you're making the salad. So it's very much hygienically prepared. On top of that, we also serve with the main course hibiscus iced tea with three spices. It has cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg with a brown sugar as a sweetener. If you are to make this at home, you can either choose to use any sweetener of your kind, from honey, normal sugar, sugar syrup, and some people prefer it sugarless. So it's very much okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see at the very end there's a brown powder. What is this?
Yes, at the very end is our exotic, magnificent dessert. This dessert combines of trio tea. It it has 3 teas in it. The cake is baked with oolong tea. The custard for making the crumble has a yellow tea. The topping is roasted purple tea, chocolate, and cinnamon. This one you cannot leaves another taste in you. You just want to eat more and more and more. So it's a cake crumble pudding, a version of English trifle, but we've made it our own way. It's our own signature. It's Gatura Greens signature. Yes.
Okay. This is very interesting, learning how you can cook a wide variety of meals using all kinds of teas, from purple to yellow, to green to black. To white, which makes me very curious how you actually do this. Do you mind actually showing me how you do this?
We'll do, I'll take you for a quick cooking. We're going to do the scones. We call them purple tea scones. They only take 15 minutes, how you combine your purple tea in the scones. And remember, as I said, when now you burn your purple tea in an oven, it releases those properties that break down the gluten. So that's why now we took initiative to do our scones with the purple tea, because it's the first item that we serve the guests when they come here. And I know after you taste those purple tea, you will never eat any scones anywhere.
Okay, then lead the way.
Follow me.
Okay.
So this is a mix-shift kitchen. Why do I say so? If you go international to many hotels, you will have the kitchen has different sections. For example, where they do meats is called saucier. Where they do the vegetables and starches is a section called entremetier. Where they do the salads and the salads and the juices, they call it garde-manger. Where they do the meats is butchery. So this one is a combination of all. In my fridge, I have compartments that I store meats and different segregations. But when I come to cook, you can see, I'll do my pastries here, I'll do my meat from their side, I'll do my salad from this other side, and also the plating. So it's a mixed shift kitchen. Okay, we are going to make a very quick, I'll show you a very quick way of making the purple tea scones. To start with, I have my 3 cups of flour. Then I'll add my baking powder. I have my sugar mixed with cinnamon. I have my sugar mixed with cinnamon. This is ground purple tea. You can see it's in granule form. You dry it and then you grind it to become like a granule sugar. So I add. Then I'll add my margarine, I'll do the eggs, and I use water instead of milk. Why? Our guests, sometimes they are lactose intolerant. So to accommodate wholesomely, we develop a recipe where you have to use water and not milk, so that everybody is accommodated. Remember, quality of whatever items you are using is very important. For the last 5 years, I've been making this one. I use Prestige. Actually, I can't even tell you the company that makes it. All that I know, it gives me the quality and the finishing that I want. I've used several, but they didn't like it. So if you happen to meet whoever makes this, tell them to come to Gatura Greens and give me a promotion. So I'll wash my hands, then come and start.
Okay. Okay, so now the margarine.
You add your margarine. We are going to use what we call rub-in method. You rub, let everything mix together, the flour, the margarine, the sugar. If you have a mixing dough, you can use it, but it will not give you the rough, nice texture that we need. That's why I use the hands.
Okay.
Because the hands prevents me from overdoing the flour. leaving the gluten not elastic. So that way now my purple tea will be able now to break down the gluten.
Okay.
So even people that have gluten issues, they come here and eat my scones, and they say, I love them. I didn't have an issue with the gluten issues.
Okay. So next is the eggs.
I'm going to add the egg. These are 2 eggs, but I'll do 1 egg and two whites.
2 whites. Yeah.
I'm leaving
Why is that?
I'm leaving the yolk behind because I need to grace my scones so they get that golden color. As per the water, depending on how much flour you're using, you are supposed to put little water by little water as you check your texture of what you need to achieve.
How will you know it's ready?
The texture, you've done chapatis before.
Yes, so it's kind of like chapati.
It's kind of like chapati. That's the texture now we need to get. Remember, you are not supposed to overdo the flour. Because if you overdo the flour, you make the flour elastic. And you want to avoid that at all costs.
Okay. Do you let it rise or?
No. With the baking powder, it's going to rise in the oven.
Okay.
As you speak, I've already preheated the oven at 200 degrees Celsius centigrade. Is here you can see. Preheat your oven.
Okay. And it's supposed to cook for how long? To bake for how long?
It will baking will take, if you have a good oven, 15 minutes.
Okay.
So I would say from making the scones to baking, even if you had guests waiting for the tea, within 30 minutes you have served.
Very quick and efficient.
Yes. So dust your counter, put your flour, you just hand it very slowly and briefly.
Okay.
I'm not going to use rolling pin.
Okay.
Remember, do not overdo the flour because of the gluten. So I'll use my hand. You can see to pat it. It's soft, already soft enough.
Yes.
It's not elastic.
Yeah.
And I want that rough texture at the top because it gives now the crunchiness and also now makes the golden color appear better. You can see it's soft.
Yes.
Very soft. Now, we use a pastry cutter, but what about if you're at home? You don't have a pastry cutter.
Yes.
Does it mean that you cannot make this?
No.
So improvise.
Yes. Simple as a cup.
Yeah, simple as a cup or a glass or a tumbler.
Okay.
You just cut. You can see what I was talking about, the quality of the products I use. Yes. I'm not dusting at top, it's not sticking. So, just a minute.
Okay.
You need to have dusted your baking tin, like the way I've done. So you come and line your scones. So you're using a modern home kitchen, whereby you are cooking your soup and your vegetables, and you still do your scones. So you don't have to say, because I don't have an international designed kitchen. I can't make my scones.
Yeah, don't have a pastry cutter.
Yeah, I don't have a pastry cutter. I can't make my scones. I don't have a dough mixer. I used a sufuria.
Yes.
Yeah, for making my dough, and I have improvised.
Yes.
And my hands.
Yeah.
Make sure they are clean.
Of course. How does one determine how thick enough it is when you're making it flat with your hand? Not to go beyond.
Not to go beyond. I'll say like 1.5. How thick is the finger?
Thickness of a finger.
Yeah, thickness of a finger.
Okay.
The thickness of a finger, you see,
Yeah.
is almost thickness of the finger.
Like 1.5.
Yeah.
And it has so many. You wouldn't say.
And those are only 3 cups. So the final one, because I don't think I'm going to get a good mold, you can make a design out of it.
Okay.
You can just roll it
Like
that.
chapati?
Yeah, chapati, hand it over. Then, because this is going to be the best.
Okay.
Then remember the egg we had, the pasty brush. You just brush on top.
What's the essence for doing that?
Yeah, it's giving that golden color. The golden color is appetizing to the eyes, and also now gives a good crusty and smoky taste when you're eating.
Okay. This can actually be a very quick snack when you have guests.
Yeah, guess. As somebody's keeping them busy, talking and vibing a little bit, catching up, you are here enjoying and can even be having your guest. They're just seated here, excuse me, and you're talking about how they're at the center of your oven. If your oven is not conventomat, if it hits from up and down, put at the center. If it's conventomat, conventomat turns the heat all around. It is okay.
Okay.
So in 15 minutes, they'll be ready.
Nice.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
sure.
So, since drying of purple tea takes like 3 hours, this is the final product of how it looks like. This was done way before. So, Paula, can you kindly tell us what we have here?
So what we have here is a completely dried purple tea leaves. And as we all know, tea doesn't have preservatives. How you preserve your leaves is by completely drying it. So the moisture content left in these leaves is like 3% moisture content, which is very minimum. And this is our way of preserving the tea leaves. Yeah.
And if I wanted to put it in my hot water, how do I measure how much I want?
Approximately a pinch of around 5 grams. So you can just estimate what you have. But if you had like a teaspoon, it's easier to measure it in a teaspoon. Yeah. So approximately 5 grams. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the next process after this?
So the next process we do after this is packaging this tea, which is the same tea that we give our guests as a souvenir, so that they take home. So, and this is how we pack it. So we have these woven bags. So I'd take a pinch like that, pack it inside. So the goal is not to crumble it, so you don't have to like smash it. So and then fold it like that. And then we have these cute labels here, which you attach to it, and then you staple it right there. And this is how the end product is. So this is how we package it for our guests. As you can see, it has a QR code. So with this QR code, it makes it very easy for our guests to leave us a Google business review or share something with us on Instagram or TripAdvisor. So this code leads you to those 3 links. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paula. This has been interesting tour, and you've seen the final product of what we got from the farm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, moving on this next table, we have Lucy, our other host, who is to explain to us what exactly we have here. Earlier, we had baked the scones with the chef, Francis, but since it takes like around 15 minutes, this was done way before. So, Lucy, I'm seeing a lot of things here. Kindly explain what we have.
So for the beverage, it's purple tea and hibiscus. This is because we want to tone down the bitterness of the purple tea, because for some people it might be bitter. So you have to add something citric to it, which is like hibiscus or lemon. So for today we've used hibiscus. Then we have purple tea infused scones, the ones that you guys were baking. And then we have jam for you to eat with the scone, so that it becomes very pleasurable when you're eating. So it is homemade hibiscus jam. So at the tea tasting, you remember I said you can use hibiscus as raw as it is. You can use it as a nice tea or jam like this one. So I'd like you to take a taste and then you'll tell me how it is.
Oh, wow, this is nice. I'd like to take a taste from that beautiful swing.
Yeah. I'll bring it to you.
Wow, thank you.
Welcome.
This is beautiful. Let me taste this. I like it.
How does it compare to the normal purple tea or hibiscus?
I like the blend.
The blend?
Yes, it tastes really good. Can I taste the...
This cone?
Yeah. Oh, it has the hibiscus
The
jam
homemade
as well.
hibiscus jam.
Yeah. Nice. And it's organic. It's really, really, really good.
You can also try it as without the hibiscus. So the scone without the hibiscus jam. And then you tell me which one you prefer. Yeah. So this is the one that doesn't have the hibiscus jam. Yes. So taste it and tell us which one you would prefer.
I like this.
The one with the jam?
I like that one better.
Okay. Nice.
This is very delicious. What else can you tell us about what you have? Like, how do you make that jam?
So for the jam, you have to cook the hibiscus until it's gummy. And then you'll add vanilla essence, brown sugar, and now depending on what you want the flavor to be like, you can add either cinnamon or just leave it as it is. Yes. So for today, we've added cinnamon. Yeah.
Do you need to refrigerate it?
Yes, you can. I would prefer you refrigerate it because if you don't, it tends to be more citric. So if you like the citricness of the hibiscus, you can just let it stay on the shelf. But if you don't like the citricness of the hibiscus, just refrigerate it. And in like a span of 2 weeks to 3 weeks, just ensure your jar is over. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Lucy, for
You're
that.
welcome.
This is very delicious.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
Well, that brings us to the very end of this amazing, amazing farm tour here in Gatura Greens in central Kenya, a place known as Gatanga. And what I have here is hibiscus and purple tea infused. So it's very delicious and it also adds color. And you remember we started from the farm and we picked the tea. We spoke to the farm worker and the farm manager and the founder, Catherine Karanja. And we also went to the waterfall. We did the tea tasting with the host Lucy, and also the host Paul also took us on a tour. We also went to the waterfall is massive, and interestingly enough, people do go swimming over there as well. Well, I didn't, but for all those who love swimming, can do that too. But this farm is not just about purple tea; it's also about heritage and experience. This is a third generation tea plantation and adding value to the tea that you drink. And it's very interesting that we have so many different kinds of teas. So this is a place I would come back to. So in the comment section below, you can write to us. Where are you watching this from? What did you enjoy the most in this tour? What would you like to see perhaps in the next one? And any questions that you may have concerning this farm and what you may want to know. Apart from that, remember to like, subscribe, follow our channel, and also share it to your friends. Well, I've been your host, Marian Gashohe. Thank you for watching. Meanwhile, let me enjoy my cup of tea.